Let's see if it's going to act up for us. Yep. So we got no crank, no start. Get this out of the way a little bit. Do we got the security light? Yep, right there. There we go. Today we're going to diagnose a theft issue and going to try out a new little tool here that is supposed to help with key diagnostics and as well as some other experiments. Alright, so what we're working on today is a 2013 Malibu, and a little backstory on this car is it's a wholesaler that bought the car from auction, and I don't know for sure if the car was driving at auction when the guy seen it or not. Don't know. All I know is at the auction the keys got lost or it come there with no keys. Not really sure. They had a key made for it, had it programmed. Car drove through the auction and everything. The customer gets the car, and every now and then this thing is a no crank, no start, which you just seen. And he actually had another local locksmith make another key, program it to the car, same thing. Every now and then this thing is a crank or a no crank, no start. And in this car, the BCM holds all the key data, and it basically talks to a little theft module on the column here, right here. And I'm pretty sure this is LIN bust, maybe. We'll look up a diagram, but either way, it's got an antenna ring that goes to this little module, and this little module transfers whatever the key information is to the BCM. And the BCM sets this unprogrammed key code. And sometimes it will set a no modulation code also. And I just cleared these, and this is the first code that's set back trying a key. So let's see if we can get it to act up again. Oh, see, that time it was a crank and stall with this key. Both of these keys have been programmed. There's not a whole lot to program in these keys. They're pretty simple, straightforward. But since we just had a crank stall, now we got a crank run. That same key, crank run, and our theft light went out. So this key is programmed. It does work sometimes. Same with this key. You get the same results with this key. It will crank sometimes, crank and stall like we just seen, and then a crank and run like we've got right now. So let's go into our BCM and see if we got a new code, not equipped. Having to pick some options out here. Read fault code. See if we got that no modulation code. No, still the same one. So clearly this key is programmed. It runs the car. So the guy wants me to figure out what is going on with this car. So we've got this little tester right here. This is they call it the diagnostic box. Model number is a TDB003. And really this shines with proximity keys, like push to start button keys, things like that. But it does do antenna ring test. So let's go let y'all guys see this, what all it can do. So we got a transponder test, remote testing. This remote infrared, that it's got a little infrared reader right there. I think that's majority for the Mercedes infrared keys maybe. But somebody was telling me old Jeep Grand Cherokees actually had an IR key fob, like a lock-unlock key fob, that you had to kind of point at like a little eye on the top or something. I've never seen one, but apparently they're out there. But then we get into like the proximity full test and then the antenna coil test. There's two different ones, and then proximity key, and then it's also, I don't know what this oscilloscope stuff is. I've not really messed with this thing a whole lot, but what I want to show is this thing does do a antenna ring test. So what you do is just kind of hold this up close to the ring. Okay, let me get you guys set up here so you can actually see this. Maybe you won't fall over. But so we're on the test 1, and if we stick this in and turn the key over, did you hear it? Let's do this again. Maybe you'll hear it. So you heard the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo sound, and our theft light's actually off, so it'll crank and run right now. Okay. When I was messing with this yesterday, when I didn't get a non key to work, that tone was different. So let's see if we can let this go to sleep, and we'll do this again. There's also this other test too. This one makes a weird signal noise right here. So it's basically kind of testing the antenna strength, I think. So, two different tests, pretty cool. So it seems like the car seems to act up more like after it's gone to sleep. Like once it starts working, it seems like it'll work pretty good for a little bit, but after it sits for a little bit, it'll act up some more. So I'm gonna let it sit, and hopefully we can get it to act up again, and hold this close to it on that antenna test 1 to see what happens when the key is not gonna work. Alright, so it's been a few minutes. I'm gonna hold the mic close to this thing so you can kind of pick up the audio a little better, and let's see if this thing will act up. So, no, still kind of makes the same noise, but no start. We turn it off, let it kind of go back to sleep a little bit. Still no crank. So that key's no cranking. Let's try this one. This one seems to crank, but GM keys are pretty easy to learn. You have a known good one, you crank it with the next one. So now for sure this key is programmed 100%. So let's let it sit, go to sleep again, and see if this will work or not. Alright, so y'all just seen this key with a tag started this thing, so it's been sitting for a few minutes. Let's see if it'll start now. No. Theft light on. Oops, I just threw it down beside the seat. Oh well, I'll find it. So this is kind of helping a little bit. We know the antenna ring is doing something, but I don't really know a whole lot about what's going on with the antenna and why it doesn't like the key. So I actually bought this just the other day, before this car got here, ironically, but I didn't have it when I first started checking this, and I had experimented with Pico and come to a pretty cool conclusion. So let me get my Pico back out, set it up, and show you what I kind of determined was happening with this car and what the fix is. Got me a new cable to replace my one that's going bad. So here's what I wanted to test, and I did this the other day before my little proximity tester come in. I've got the antenna ring off, and luckily this is one where the antenna ring can come off and be separated. I've got both wires just pierce probed, the blue one up here, the white one down here closer to the ring, just because it made it easier to connect. I want to see what this ring does when I turn the key on, but it doesn't see a key. I want to see what kind of signal. It should just be a frequency signal, because the little box here is just basically going to excite this ring with a frequency, and then the chip is basically going to get excited and basically make another frequency that this picks up, and it just relays that back into the box. The box translates that, sends it to the BCM. Alright, so I've got my ground lead just in one wire and my actual channel in the other side. So like I said, this is going to be an AC signal because it's a frequency, it's emitting a frequency. So I want to just hold this away while I stick the key in and turn it on. And I've got the PicoScope rolling here, and we're going to wait until we get to the next page. We'll turn this on and see what kind of signal this thing makes. Okay, so that is what this looks like when it is looking for a key and it doesn't see it. So we basically see, let me zoom in here. Like I said, this is just a frequency. It's emitting a frequency. So kind of get zoomed in real far in here. You can kind of see how it starts to now look like a frequency signal. So it's looking for a signal and is not getting a reply back from a key, and then it's trying again, I guess, in a different way. But either way, this is what it looks like when it doesn't see a key. So now let me dig my key out from under the seat, and we'll see what it looks like. Oh, I got it yet. So we'll see what it looks like with a key in it. So I'm just holding the key in here. Let me start the scope again, and we will turn this on. Still not seeing it. And we lost the second half of the pickup there. So let's see if we can make this thing work. No, so it's not liking this key. Let's try sticking this key in, this key here, and wait till it gets to the next page. Alright, so that is what it looks like when it sees a key that it likes, or sees a key at all. So if we zoom in here right at the beginning, you can almost see how we had a response. Everything looks a little different. Like we don't have the individual 3 packets. It all kind of makes one big packet, but you can kind of tell how there's different packets in there. So are we dealing with an antenna issue or just bad keys? I still don't really know. It's really strange how when I just stuck this key in there, we get this completely different pattern. So what would you guys do? We have aftermarket keys. I wouldn't call these crappy keys. They're the ILCO brand. I usually have pretty good luck with these whenever I buy keys. If I can't get an OEM key, this ILCO brand is what I'll get. And I've had pretty good luck with them. But I never buy these little standalone keys. I always buy what the car should have. And in this car, it should actually have a flip key with a fob. So, yeah, that's what I think is happening. Is it just doesn't like these keys. Maybe the little chips in these keys don't work very well or something. I'm not real sure. So I have a genuine, got it from the dealership key for this car that I'm going to program to it, and we will get some new captures of this waveform and see what's happening and see if we still have an issue or not. I can remember these cars having issues with these theft modules, but to me the antenna seems like it's doing stuff. It's just not seeing a response from the key. So I'm trying a key first. Here's our real key. Like I said, picked it up from the dealership. I'm going to try to do what everybody calls this the quick learn, where you take a working key, you crank it, and then you crank it with your new key. GM lets you do this up until 17, I think. 17, you actually have to have 2 known good keys before you can add a blank key doing this quick learn method. So you do your 2 known good keys and then crank with your 3rd key. So let me see if we can get this programmed doing the quick learn. And I seem to have the best luck with this key working, so we'll try it first. I quit dropping things. Where'd it go? Alright, so our theft light's right there in the right below the fuel. So what we do is, yeah, see, not gonna work. So didn't like it that time. Let's try again with this key. Nope. Theft light. So it's gonna just not work with me here. What I did yesterday, when I was messing with this, I could actually hold one key closer. Nope, still not working. It's just gonna fight me. And on the scope, we can still see we're getting signals. It's just not getting a response, apparently. I took and cleared the code out and see we've got this no transponder modulation again, or no transponder. It's been aggravating and not wanting to work. I think I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way and program the key, because now these keys are not helping at all. Yeah. Yep, I'm just going to program it the old-fashioned way and see if it'll take. Quit trying to use these 2 keys. Well, I had a little bit of a turn of events with this car. when my keys stopped working altogether, I ended up getting a new code that was a hard fault, and I'm not sure if it was just coincidence or if this issue's been going on or not, but we had this new code here pop up, security sensor data circuit. And testing everything out, the Immobilizer module just died. I mean, it was still there. It would still excite the ring, the antenna ring, but it would not start anymore at all. So we got a new one, put it in here, and give me a good opportunity to now make a special tool that I can keep. And yeah, this thing's gonna come in handy because now I can take it and just hold it up to a key cylinder, stick a key in and turn it on, and pick up the signal. And we got the scope rolling here. This key still does not work every time. I don't know why, but this key won't work. So we got the scope going, and I'm gonna wait till the page gets over to the next one, and we're gonna see what we get here. See, we get that same signal where it looked like before that this key looks like no key at all. Now, if we wait, I've got this other key, and stick it in and turn it on. There we go. We get a good solid signal. Turn it off. This key will crank. It works pretty much every time now. I haven't seen it not work, but we've got our new key, and the way I figured out the theft module was actually bad is this key wouldn't program. Even going through SPS, this key would not program. But let's see what it does. It is programmed now. So, new page. There we go. That one works too. And my ring bumped a little bit, so the signal kind of fell out a little bit, but this key works. And once this key programs, I actually quick learned this key off of this key. Once I got the new theft module in, this one is pretty reliable, so I just quick learned the new flip key. And when you quick learn these, they actually learn the buttons as well. So nice, cool, easy. So, but just to show you, it starts right up and runs. And as you can see, when my antenna ring here gets moved around, turning it on, the signal goes a little haywire. But yeah, this key is good. It seems like this key works every time. Let it go to sleep good. But stick this one in, fires right up. But this one doesn't work. So I'm not sure if there's an issue with the chip in this one, or it's just a bad key. I'm going to actually attempt to quick learn this one off of cranking it with this one. And like I was explaining before, everything kind of went haywire with me. The way you do that is you just take this. I don't think you'll be able to see the theft light up here, but we're going to take and crank it. There's a theft light right there. When that goes out, you turn the car off and quickly crank it with the next key. And this light will go off if it learns it. And it is not. That light is still on. See there? So we do actually have a bad key. This key does not work at all. Yeah, that's why I always try to use use real keys, like factory keys. So I'm actually gonna dig the alt tail out and see if we can see any key data off of this key. Alright, so with the alt tail and the XP400, the smaller version of this thing will do it too. You can take the key and drop it in here, and under programmer you can actually test the key. Come on, focus. Of course, it's going to check for an update. Alright, if we hit key, read key, automatic, if this key is good, it will come up with something here. Look at this. So it says this key is good. Interesting. And okay, you could read more info like the key ID. So yeah, kind of strange. Let's see, where'd my other key go? Here's the other key. Let's go escape. I'll do this key. See, that one picked up, and look, this one says status locked. So it's almost like this key programmed, and once these keys get programmed, they go locked. But the other key said unlocked right there. That's pretty interesting. I'm gonna get this key dug back out. It fell in between the seat. So it's kind of interesting. This one says unlocked. Let's do it again. We'll drop it down in the slot there. Do auto. Not locked. Ain't that strange? But yeah, this key, even trying to quick learn it, won't program to it. But this key was working sometimes. Very strange. Very, very strange. Aftermarket keys. Yeah, I don't like using them. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.